So now we're moving to cardiovascular disorder. Cardio is the heart. Vascular, blood vessels. So that's generally say we're talking about heart and blood vessels disorder. Cardiovascular symptoms we also call circulation symptoms by their functions. So that's the same thing. In this part, we still pick up two illnesses. One illness, coronary artery diseases, which is simply called CAD. Another illness is hypertension. Both these illnesses is pretty common. So we discuss one by one. First, let me go to CAD, coronary artery illness. Coronary artery is located on the heart. So it is a special artery supply the blood to the heart. They have two branches, one on the left side, one on the right side. So that give the nutrition and the oxygen to the heart. They have trouble, usually it's blocked. Blocked in somewhere. Then the blood supply locally will be losing nutrition and losing oxygen. For long term, the cells will be dead. So how severe of the illness is totally depending where they block. If block in the big branches here, maybe even half part of the heart is totally not working. So that kind of condition, heart attacking, people possible died immediately. If smaller branch blocking, maybe like later on, some blood like branch will go to local area and go to blood supply. People may be recover. So that's coronary artery diseases or CAD. So when we're talking about coronary artery diseases here, so basically we say if something happens for the coronary artery. Coronary artery, they changing. So basically we're talking about the blood vessels, especially for the artery. Its pretty softer, elastic. Now it's more harder. So hardness in the artery. And then partly or even totally blocking the coronary artery. So that's the illness of CAD. So mainly it may blocking the big artery there, maybe middle side of the artery. So basically, this illness, CAD, can cause the problems. Angina. Angina is the illness. Patient have chest pain. but will be relieved. It's a temporary chest pain. That's the agenda. And maybe also the heart muscles is totally blocking. Thus, usually we talking about severe kind of chest pain. And the severe case, people may be dead. And also CAD possible cause the heart rate changing, irregular heart rate. And the severe case, like we're talking about, heart artery totally blocking, people may be suddenly die. So that's the condition if something happens in the coronary artery. So what truly happens in there in pathology kind of levels? So that's basically the blood vessels go to thickness and harder loose elastic in the arteries wall, and then blocking the blood flowing way in some degree. So let's see the picture here. So here is the heart. We have two coronary arteries, one coming from here to here, that's right side coronary artery. One coming from here go down to here, that's left side coronary artery. Now we take a small piece from here. It's like a middle bunch here. It's not that bigger bunch here. Then we make it enlarging here and enlarging here. So above part here is normal condition of coronary artery. You can see pretty smoothly. And here is a CAD kind of coronary artery. You can see, especially in this part, look like a more thinker. And a lot of yellow kind of stuff are touching inside of blood vessels here. And truly, they will blocking the blood flowing way. Get blood vessels is narrow there. And losing elastic. So that truly happens in the illness, CAD. So if this kind of situation happens, patient may get hypertension, low or hypertension trigger it. And the patient may have high level kind of lupus level and trigger it. The lupus, just the blood fat, Or maybe people smoking, cigarette smoking can trigger it. And the people have some illness, like diabetes, can trigger it. And even people overweight can trigger it. These kind of situations happen. So that's generally something relationship with CAD. So if patient have some blocking in the coronary artery. What's the symptoms patient will be have? So we're talking about something blocking part of the blood vessels, coronary artery here. So what's the symptoms they may have? The symptoms, like a patient feels some discomfortable in the chest first, or maybe some angina in the chest area. So that's basically some painful sensation behind the sternum bone. So that's right the physical location of the heart. So that looks like our sternum bone here. Our heart, big part in the left side, but still have some part behind the sternum bone. So people just feel painful behind the sternum bone. And they may pretty faster become more severe. Yeah, from the beginning, it's kind of sore in there. And then, like a severe, continually painful in there. And the pain may radiate to the left side of the shoulder and down to the inside of the left arms, radiating to the finger. So radiating to the small finger. So thinking about anatomy, standing position, or plan will put in the fact. Yeah, put in the fact. So that's we say left side of the fingers. That's basically go to small fingers. That's exactly our heart channel go to it. Heart barrier, heart channel go to it. And also possible the pain radiate to the upper back. So that's what we call coronary artery diseases and cause the partly heart blocking on coronary artery or maybe totally blocking it. So the symptoms relationship, how severe is blocking. So we have different patterns. These kind of condition, yeah, angina pectoris, yeah, chest pain, can trigger by physical activity. So people do more physical activity, they need more oxygen. If heart muscles don't have enough oxygen, they will cause the painful situation. And if we're talking about angina, that's usually maybe few minutes painful situation. Then after rest, they disappear. So that's angina pectoris. And also sometimes even possible triggered by exercises, then eating some food. And also exposure to the cold. So a lot of reasons can trigger the angina pectoris, chest pain. But when we talking about angina pectoris, usually it's temporary chest pain. It's just a few minutes chest pain. So like the picture here, these old men, they have chest pain. They have chest pain. They put hand to the chest. They feel chest pain. If just a few minutes, if just a few minutes, and then pain go away, or maybe after eating, pain go away. That's angina pectoris. If the chest pain continually in there, that's basically by severe kind of blocking in there, and then cause the heart muscles is damaged there. So if like hours kind of severe chest pain in there, that's we call heart attack. So that's a different kind of condition. So you can see the picture here. So that's coming from coronary artery, and make a coronary artery like from here enlarging here. You can see the totally blocking inside by the blood clots. Totally no blood flowing go to this area. So that's a heart tissue side. So that kind of condition we call heart attack or infection. That's the heart myocardial infarction. So how is the medicine diagnosis for this illness? So still firstly, patient have symptoms, chest pain, and maybe have some other symptoms like palpitations. And also when you go to GP or family doctor, they may use the scalp to listen to the heart sounds. Possible some heart sounds changing there. So when we talking about Western medicine diagnosis, we use the scalp to hear the heart sounds, and we'll have some heart sounds changing there. And also can go to ECG checking. ECG especially we use checking for the heart. Electrical changing in the heart. And then they give us a picture there. So kind of picture like this. So truly from the picture changing, we know some like heart muscles died because the electrical couldn't send it to that part. And also possible can do exercises tolerant type. What means exercises tolerant type? So we say angina attacking kind of condition sometimes happens after people do exercises because their body need more oxygen, their heart need more oxygen. But if they have part of the coronary blocking there, so truly they couldn't get enough oxygen. Especially after exercises, that's trigger that problem. Then we do ECG. Then we can record it. So like if people during the rest condition, they go to ECG test, maybe just like normal people. Nothing from ECG. Because when they rest, they have enough oxygen. They didn't trigger the problem. Now we use exercises trigger the problems. Then we can find some abnormal changes in ECG. That's we call exercises tolerance test. And right now we have more way to find, especially for coronary artery, like a disorder. There was a special kind of machine. So like we have a lot of ways, even we checking for the nucleus, we can find something. So that's by the diagnosis way. Yeah, diagnosis way. Still symptoms first. Yeah, still symptoms first. And then get a different way to checking. Then we find a different, like the passenger, like a reflection here. Then we're talking about the Western medicine kind of treatment for CAD condition. So CAD condition pretty much relationship with people eating and people exercising. So we're talking about like people overweight, yeah, less exercises and overweight can cause this problem. So basically that kind of patient, blood fat level, lipid level is high. That's pretty easily attacking to the blood vessels. Certainly, they also possible happens in other part of the body. But if they attacking to the coronary arteries, we say that maybe fat attacking there first and make the blood vessels unsmoothly in the coronary artery. Then your body symptoms will thinking about that blood vessel is be cut or damaged. Then your body try to fix it. Yeah. So originally just a little bit like a fat tissue attacking here because fat or lipid is pretty sticky, pretty sticky. They're not that easily like follow the blood flowing. They're pretty easily attacking the wall of the blood vessel. So if this small amount, the fat lipid attacking here, then the body systems will thinking about that the blood vessels is damaged there. Then they will trigger, to our protective systems, try to fix it. Like we know, normally if we cut off the blood vessels in some way, your platelets will go to there and the fibrils go to there, and even your blood vessel contractions like fix there, stop bleeding. So that's for normal people, even if you cut off your small blood vessels, like you cut off your fingers, basically just a few minutes, they will stop bleeding itself. Yeah, you are not necessary to use medications. That's because your symptoms have automatically fixed function in there. So that's the normal reaction of blood vessels be damaged. Certainly that's good for us for protection. But right now the lupus are touching to blood vessels here. Make inside blood vessels not smoothly in here. So what happens next? They will trigger your protective systems. Try to fix it. So still platelets coming. Yeah, platelets coming. And later on, fibers coming, attaching there. So make it this area getting bigger and bigger. And not that smoothly, and even more easily get more fat tissue attacking here. So that kind of condition, that's cause problems, getting bigger and bigger, blocking here. Lot of fatty tissue attacking here, make the blood vessels lose electric in there, and truly blocking the blood flowing way here. So that's we say, like if some blocking there, and then patient will feel pain here. And this kind of blocking is triggered by the physical activity. So that's we say the food relationship. Food relationship. People eating too much greasy food or fat kind of food can trigger it. And some exercises, if patient have problems in there, they can trigger it. So basically, we preventing some fatty food. Do some exercises regularly, not like a suddenly. Not like a suddenly you never do exercises before, and suddenly you do lot of exercises. You still cause the problem. But regular exercises make everything moving, make your heart strong. You can preventing this kind of illness. And eating more vegetables, more fluid, more fabric, not only fat. So that's kind of, we say, generally preventive. Yeah, generally preventive. So then we have some medications. We can do some preventive. Medication, we can do some preventive. So basically, these kind of medications is category. Yeah, is category medication, nutrient. Yeah. So that can dilate the blood vessels. So we say blood vessels is hardly blocking there. Now we dilate, it make blood vessels is bigger. then they are pretty easily like the blood passing through. So Ajana's condition, Ajana's condition, not only something blocking there, they also possible the same time smooth muscles around the coronary artery, they will some contraction. They will more narrow the blood vessels. So that's why people got ajna attacking usually couple minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. During that time, smooth muscles contraction. The blood vessels is more narrow there. Then they reduce. Then the blood go to little bit more, go to heart again. So truly, we use dilate blood vessel here. We can allow more blood go to heart muscles. So that's the medication. We say we have a category here. We have different medication here. And we also can use like beta adrenaline agents. So that's through our nervous system. Sympathetic nervous systems and the parasympathetic nervous systems will go to the heart, make the heart like jumping stronger. So sympathetic nervous system getting the heart jumping a little bit weaker. So less oxygen needed. So that's why we're using this. And the calcium blocker. So calcium will make the heart jumping stronger. So we try to like the heart working a little bit slowly and a little bit weakly. Then we decrease the oxygen use for the heart. And also we can use antiplatelet kind of drug. Like we talking about aspirin before. So aspirin actions, aspirin actions, usually we call thinner the blood. What means thinner blood? So like something happens inside the blood vessels, we're talking about if some injury there, all the platelets will pretty fast go to there. And then they connect to each other. They change the form. Then they form a bigger block. Now aspirin functions is prevent platelets like meeting each other, like the blood more flowing smoothly. So that's the aspirin working for this kind of condition here. And severe case, severe case, can do the surgery. Can do the surgery. So we say is some blocking there, like some people, usually surgery is not waiting, it totally blocking. That's people don't have chance to have surgery anymore. Basically, it's hard, most part blocking here. And the patient pretty common have agenda attacking kind of condition. And we go to like we talking about some emerging kind of checking or ECG checking. It's pretty severe there. So basically we can surgery. We can use some more like artery from other part of body instead of the sixth like artery there. or sometimes we can put some artificially, physically, like plastic kind of like some support inside. So that way can keep the blood flowing there, pushing like blood vessels more dilate and allow more blood passing through. So that's coming from the surgery to like treat these kind of problems. So that kind of surgery we call like just form some new blood in there. So the illness, depending, CAD depending, like how severe of the coronary artery damage, and what's the aging of the patient, and how severe of the symptoms, and what's the general venous function. So maybe getting better and better, get treatment after. And the severe case, people may be die. So that's about CAD Western medicine aspect. Today we go to TCM aspect. So in Chinese medicine, coronary artery diseases in the category, so still by the symptoms, we can call 胸痹. 胸 is a chest. 痹 is pain. B is pain. Like in internal medicine, you're talking about B syndromes. That's usually talking about joint pain. Right now, we're talking about chest pain. Chest pain. And also, we call 针心痛. 针 is 出来. 心 is heart. 痛 is 六片. And more maybe 绝心痛. That's kind of severe kind of heart pain. We use reversal. That condition basically heart pain with cold limbs. That's for different name we use for these conditions for TCI. So we know the heart controls blood, pushing blood circulation all over the body. So if heart qi deficiency, and then cold will be blocking the channel, especially in the chest part. Then people will feel some painful in there. So sometimes something triggered problems, like people drinking alcohol, and maybe overeating fatty stuff, food, or even too much sweet food. So that still can damage for TCM. We're talking about middle jiao function, spleen and stomach. And the spleen stomach function is damaged. We know spleen have T and T functions. So T and T function not working. Phlegm will be generated. So that's for the situation it happens. Then blocking internally. And also sometimes the emotions. Emotions can cause the qi not moving smoothly and cause qi stagnation, then cause the painful situation. For TCM, we say painful situation. It must be because something blocking. Without blocking, without pain. Maybe qi blocking. Maybe phlegm blocking the channel. Maybe blood stasis blocking the channel. So thus we're talking about some reason can trigger these problems. But generally say blocking the channel, especially in the upper jaw. And then the heart losing the nutrition. Then cause the chest pain. That's the mainly problems for these illness. And also sometimes heart palpitation. Very severe kind of case. Yeah, very severe kind of case. People maybe even lose consciousness and even die. We know a lot of people died from heart attack. So for TCM, we're still thinking about that's a pretty severe kind of disorder. Then we're talking about different patterns, and we're talking about different treatment. So basically we know that yang qi keep everything circulation. If yang qi damaged in the chest area, that will be blocking in the upper jaw. So that causes the symptoms, chest pain. Yeah, chest pain is mainly problem of this illness. Yang qi damaged, and if touching cold, get all the symptoms severe. So that can trigger by the cold condition. Other symptoms like qi deficiency, short breath, and chest pressure, heart painful. So these heart pain can radiate to upper back in some severe case and could have heart palpitations. So if we look in the tongue, white tongue coating and maybe greasy, because qi not circulation, phlegm not circulation, so phlegm retention. And very pulse can coming from pain, sleepy pulse can coming from some phlegm blocking inside. Or some case can have some like a regular or maybe irregular kind of heartbeat kind of pulse. So we're talking about the regular. Interrupted here means they stop in the regular space, like jumping 2 times, stop once, then jumping another 2 times, then stop once. So that kind of pulse. But generally, that's the pulse heart function is damaged. So this pattern also can combination with another pattern we call cold pattern, or maybe phlegm blocking pattern, or maybe qi stagnation pattern, or maybe blood stasis pattern. So usually the pattern not coming singly, they will combination with other patterns. But we discuss here, we separately discuss, just make everything clear. So treatment principle, heart yang damaged, we need warming heart yang. Yang damaged, blood not moving, qi not moving, so we moving blood and remove blood stasis. The formula we use 瓜蒌、蟹白、半夏汤加味。瓜蒌 is the herb's name. 瓜蒌 pretty good for open the chest. Yeah, remove phlegm in the chest. 蟹白 is the warming herb. Still mainly warming for the heart, for the upper jaw. 半夏 result phlegm. So thus we say yang qi deficiency always have some phlegm retention there. So that's the mainly king herbs here. Tang is decoction. Jia means plus. Wei means ingredient. So from that formula we modified, we adding more herbs. 丹参 moving blood, 红花 moving blood. 桂枝 is warming herb also. So that's warming heart. Yeah, warming heart. 川芎 moving blood. And 蒲黄 moving blood. 香附 moving qi. 血竭 moving blood also. 三七 moving blood. So that's for this condition, heart yang deficiency and blood not moving cause some blood stasis condition. We adding herbs, warming heart, moving blood, and moving qi. And also result blood. So that's the modified formula, but we still can modify from there. If patient has severe kind of cold symptoms there, we can add in 附子 there. 附子 is very hard herbs. 制附子 means prepared. 附子 is toxin kind of herb. Right now we only use prepared. Like before, sometimes people use raw 附子, like not prepared 附子. But truly, not prepared 附子 more toxic. So generally say right now we only use 制附子. So that's more warming herbs. And yin yang guo, that's the qin yang 25 herbs. We say all of our body yang qi originally coming from qin yang. So people damaged by the cold, we need a qin yang 25. And if we especially thinking about like heart yang deficiency in there, we can add in 黄芪 and 细辛 and 制附子. Generally say 黄芪 is qi 25 herb. 细辛 is pretty warm herb. Yeah. They can warm internally and externally. So 细辛 truly you can use for internally cold this condition, or even externally EPI cold condition. But pay attention, for 细辛 we couldn't overdosage use. 细辛 is toxin herb. So generally say we use about 3 to 5 grams per day. And also 附子 still toxin herb, we talked about already. But 附子 you can use up to 10 grams. just cooking foods. You need a pour cooking foods about 20 minutes. Yeah, 20 to 30 minutes. Then adding other herbs in, thus reducing toxins of the food. So these two herbs we need to be careful to use. And people qi deficiency, people will fatigue, short breath, and general weakness. So adding huang qi still tonify qi, and dang shen qi tonify. So that's especially qi tonify. And severe kind of chest pressure there, even chest pain. That means severe kind of qi blood stagnation there. So we're adding more qi moving herbs there. 后破 and 止咳. And for more phlegm in the chest area, we're adding 桔梗. Severe kind of chest pain, 咽喉锁. 咽喉锁 is blood moving herbs. We know when blood stasis cause the most severe kind of painful situation. So we can add in 咽喉锁 moving blood. Generally say we can call 咽喉锁 is the painkiller in Chinese medicine. So that's this severe kind of painful situation. We can think about 咽喉锁. So that's the formula modifications here. And we also can use acupuncture treatment. Yeah, acupuncture treatment. So back through of the heart and find more of the heart. And also pericardium 6 with Ren 17 urine. Open the chest. And also we can working for diaphragm, bladder 17. So that's basically like the point here. And we still can modify it from there. So they put Ren 17 here. Severe kind of chest pressure there. And even still not good relieve the pain, we also can add in speed 4 with pericardium 6 together. So basically these are some points like open the chest there. And for cold condition, patient have cold hand, cold feet, cold sensation in the heart area, so we can massage. So massage basically we still can choose pretty similar points we talked about before. If more phlegm, so we're adding some points without phlegm, like stomach 40. Surface benign is another good one without phlegm. And the patient still qi deficiency, stomach 36 is a good one. If patient have like a liver issue, like a liver qi stagnation changing to some qi, or maybe liver yang rising, thus we can go to the liver gallbladder channel, pick up some points. So that's acupuncture treatment. Then we go to another pattern. That's mainly it's kind of stasis in there. So stasis in there and cause the blocking in there. Sharp kind of pain in the chest area, especially in the heart area. And we also talking about it possible radiate to upper back. Also possible have hypochondria distension and heart palpitations and short breath. So if we look in the face and the limbs, it's dark color in there, or maybe pupil in there. And looking for the tongue, still dark pupil tongue in there. Or sometimes with pupil kind of spot in there, and the pupil color under the tongue on the wing there. So that's truly blood stasis sign there. Very pulse still coming from the pain, choppy pulse coming from blood stasis, and sometimes got some missing heartbeat condition. So treatment principle from this one, removing qi, moving blood, and remove blood stasis, and open the channels. So the formula we use, 丹参饮 plus 桃红四物汤. These two formula, both like moving blood without blood stasis. Especially 桃红四物汤. 桃红四物汤 look like the basic formula remove blood stasis. And the lot of formula they base on 桃红四物汤. So that's like we're talking about. We have qi moving, blood moving herbs in these two formulas. So that's basically the formula we talked about before already. Then, like modifications by the different kind of conditions. If like more qi stagnation symptoms and signs, we adding 淬炼子 and shampoo. So qi stagnation condition mainly caused by liver, liver qi stagnation. So these two herbs mainly go to the liver and remove liver qi. If blood stasis more severe, we adding 乳香没药, that's moving blood herbs. If qi deficiency condition, we still adding 黄芪 there and the dang. So from the manipulations, the herbs here, modified herb here, you will like get more clear, like which herbs working for which kind of condition. Blood deficiency, we adding 熟地. Certainly we have other herbs. Even you can add in 四物汤 inside. Shu di, Bai Shao, Dang Gui, Chuan Xiong. But truly we have some herbs in original formula in here already. So that's we only adding 熟地 there, like a Dang Gui, 赤芍, 赤芍, 白芍, the different herb, but their functions pretty similar. So in this here, they use both 赤芍 and 白芍. 赤芍 more clear heat, but they still tonify blood. 白芍 more tonify blood. So sometimes we use together. And the severe chest pain, we still adding 桔梗 and 止咳。And if patient truly in severe kind of painful condition, we talking about kind of a totally coronary artery blocking there. We can add in 泻白 and 血迹 pretty stronger moving blood and warming chest. So acupuncture treatment, basically the points still pretty similar, like we talking about, like Ren 17, bladder 17, and pericardium 6, and pericardium 4. Yeah, pericardium 4 also open the chest. And we still can modify it from there. Yeah, we still can modify it from there. Like a patient have cold condition, we can add in maxa. Then 17, bladder 17. If a patient more qi deficiency, we still can go to stomach 36. And if have liver yang rising kind of condition, we still can go to liver and gallbladder points. And qi stagnations, we can go to basically LI4 with liver 3 together. Usually we call 4 gate. That means stronger moving qi. Yeah, 4 gate. Stronger moving qi. When we're talking about the pattern, we say liver qi stagnations and cause qi wrong direction flowing there. So chest pain compared with the blood stasis pattern is kind of dampened there. But the chest pressure and is caused more severe by emotions. And still possible have like a short breath, restless, and hypochondria pain, uncomfortable, still have cold hand. So basically this pattern, patient have more emotions and trigger the problem. So that's tau could be normal, yeah, could be normal, could be slightly like a dark color or maybe slightly red color. It's depending how severe of the qi stagnation. Tongue coating usually not changing. Both stream pulse in this book, same meaning means very pulse. By changing some words, to very pulse, but they use too many times. Just let you know, in case in others, you go to other book, you are confusing. So that's liver qi stagnation pattern. Treatment principle, certainly we need shooting the liver and moving the qi and moving the blood. So the formula we use 4逆散加味 still plus other herbs. So that's moving qi, especially liver qi formula, and plus other herbs remove blood. So Daishen can move blood. 郁金 moving liver 气，柴胡 moving liver 气，炙壳 generate 气 moving， 白芍 nourishing liver blood， 川芎 moving blood， 香附 specially moving 气 for the liver. So 香附 is the herb pretty good for liver qi moving. And we know some people have like gynecology problems caused by liver qi stagnation issues, like PMI. 香附 is pretty good one. 香附 is pretty good one. Even some pain in the lower jaw, in the uterus area, adding 香附 there. So or liver channel go to there also. And some people call 香附 is the gynecology herb. Lot of conditions we can add in 香附 there. And 甘草 harmless formula, but itself have some qi tonifying function. 酱香 is qi moving herb. So that's generally say for liver qi stagnation, and we use 四逆散. And still, I think we talking about one time before. Don't confusing 四逆散 and 四逆汤. That's like the only herbs 散 totally different with 汤. Different ingredients inside. 四逆汤 is a warming herb for cold condition, for internal cold condition. But 四逆散 is the herb, especially moving liver qi. So that's mostly when we talking about 散 and 汤, not the same, but not for 四逆散 and 四逆汤. So modification part, basically pretty similar. We talking about the herb here. Severe chest pain means more severe blocking there. So they adding 金铃子散, that's the formula name. So that's still qi and blood moving there. And if patient have insomnia, difficult sleep, we adding calming 神 herbs, 夜交藤 and 酸枣仁. Calming 神 help people sleep. And people wanting means flaming in there. We adding 半夏 and 生姜, harmonize middle jaw. And people couldn't eating less, poor appetite. We adding herbs, help the digestion, 山楂 and 神曲 and 麦芽. So all the three herbs in digestion category, but for 山楂, especially digestions, help digestions for the fat, or for the meat. Especially for this kind of condition, 山楂 also can decrease the blood levels of lupus. So that's pretty good one. Patient have this kind of condition. We can suggest people using some 山楂 and just cooking 山楂 tea and drink it. And for spleen qi deficiency mainly, we can add in 党参 qi tonified herbs, 白术 qi tonified, especially go to the spleen, and 茯苓 qi tonified. And for liver, qi stagnation, and tend to heat condition, we need some herbs clear heat. 丹皮 same like 牡丹皮， usually we call 牡丹皮。But if they talking about 丹皮, still 牡丹皮 and 栀子。We say 栀子 clear heat in 3 gel. Upper gel, middle gel, lower gel. So that's the modifications for the herb formula. And for acupuncture treatment, so 出来 we need more 木运气 So still Pacardin 6, you still can use with Ren 17 together. And Ren 14, Fun Move Heart. And Bladder 17, 带方术. And Liver 3. Liver 3, I like to use combination with LF4 together. We talking about the 4 days before. That's stronger like qi moving there. And we still can modify it from there. Patient insomnia with adding heart 7 and more chest pain. We can add in heart 4 and pericardium 3. And the emotions, that's mainly relationship with the liver. So that's we go to back of liver and second line in the bladder channel, same level of backthrough of the liver. So basically in the bladder channel, on the back we have 2 like meridian line in there. First line 1.5 away from the middle line. Bladder channel. We know that a lot of back shoe location. Back shoe. Like a heart shoe, liver shoe, lung shoe, skin shoe. And the second line, 3 away from the middle line. On the same level, we are not called it back shoe, but they have same functions, like the same organs. But generally say the second line we most use for emotions situations. So first line usually we use 脏腑 organs situation. Second line we use for emotions situation. We know heart control the big shen, and each of the 脏 organs, they control small shen. So still relationship with emotions. So right now we can go to second line of the liver. And if blood difference, that should be bladder 17 here. Diaphragm should, bladder 17. And 肝属 and adding bladder 17 here, and 膈属 here. So because bladder 17 is especially bladder shoe, especially bladder shoe. So we should add in bladder shoe in here, bladder shoe in here. Liver storage for blood. So liver should still working for blood difference, but truly we need blood 70 here. That's 格数 or 带放数。So that's for blood deficiency kind of condition. When we're talking about the pattern, mainly is phlegm blocking. Phlegm blocking is more pressure, or maybe more painful in there. Phlegm is kind of body fluid retention. That will cause the body heaviness, too many water, retention inside. And especially sometimes we even can see the phlegm, like people cough with phlegm or vomiting with phlegm. So that's basically cause some heaviness on the bodies and possible dizziness and heart area palpitations with possible nausea, vomiting, and people don't like to take food. And generally, if we're looking for the tongue, tuberate, same meaning is greasy. Yeah, greasy kind of tongue coating there. And the pulse, sleepy kind of pulse, or worry pulse. We say these words, the same meaning is worry. So that's mainly phlegm retention. So truly, treatment principle, if we use the herbs, if you use herbs, we use aromatic kind of herbs that's more moving and transform kind of phlegm or dampness and remove stasis. So the formula we use 温胆汤 plus, 温胆汤 plus. That's we say mainly result phlegm formula. So truly in this formula, 半夏陈皮、茯苓 is kind of 二陈汤 idea. 二陈汤 idea. So 二陈汤 is the formula result phlegm. We can use for lot of conditions. And 全瓜 sometimes we call 全瓜蒌 or 瓜蒌。它就是 added here. 全瓜 or 全瓜蒌. So that's result phlegm and all, especially open the chest herbs. And the 郁金 go to the liver. 竹茹 result phlegm. 炙壳 for qi moving. 白豆蔻 aromatic kind of herbs result phlegm also. So that's for this kind of condition. And we still can modify it from there. So like people have bitter taste in the mouth and thirsty. So that's generally say is a phlegm combination with the heat. So truly we need some herbs clear heat. We have a lot of herbs result phlegm already. So we need some herbs clear heat. 但南星 and 天竺黄 result phlegm also. If patient aversion to cold and cold limbs, That's basically some cold inside. Yeah, cold inside. Even clear phlegm in there. So that condition, we need some warming herbs. So we remove 竹茹. 竹茹 is kind of like a cold herb. And adding 干姜, 干姜 is more warming herb. And 蟹白 and 细辛 is more warming herb. So that's for the conditions. If severe kind of pain in the chest, so we're adding 川芎, moving blood, moving blood. 三七 moving blood. 酱香 moving qi. So that's moving qi, moving blood without pain. And the patient constipations, adding 大黄, adding 大黄. 大黄 purging fat, purging fat. So these kind of constipations, usually we're talking about, it's pretty dry stool, pretty dry stool. So some heat inside. These kind of constipations, we adding 大黄. And the patient have heat sense. We have another kind of constipation, generally caused by qi deficiency. Stool is not that dry, still softer, but just difficult coming out. That kind of constipations, we need adding qi tonify herbs. So be careful, be careful. 大黄 pretty strong. And we need to use for kind of excessive condition, heat condition, not use for deficiency or cold condition. Diarrhea, poor appetite, and fatigue. That generally means qi deficiency condition, especially spring qi deficiency. So we need to tonify spring qi with 白术, 党参, and 黄芪. So that's modified from there. For acupuncture treatment, basically the points pretty similar. We talked about before. Stomach 40 without phlegm, pericardium 6, and then 17 open the chest. Stomach 34, qi 25.
Excuse me, doctor, could I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, is there, you said is for constipation caused by qi deficiency, then we added the 大黄?
We are not adding 大黄, we're adding like a 黄芪. Yeah, qi 25. Yeah. So we say constipations is a heat inside.
Oh, heat inside.
Yeah. We're adding 大黄.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If qi deficiency condition cause the constipation, we will add in 黄芪党参.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. So for different kind of condition, we're adding different herbs. And the modification for the points here, let's see, pretty similar. We're talking about the points. For the phlegm heat, stomach 44. Yeah, stomach 44 is the good points, clear heat. And LF4, we still can clear heat and also result pain. Yeah, stop it. And the cold phlegm, we need maxa. Yeah, we need maxa. And the spleen qi deficiency, we can go to yuan south of the spleen. Body heaviness, basically we're talking about phlegm retention or dumbness. So that's the stomach 9. And the heart palpitation, we go to yuan south points of the heart 7. Then we're talking about qi and yin deficiency part. Qi and yin deficiency pattern, the problem still causes chest pain, but the qi deficiency patient fatigue and short breath, heart issue, heart palpitation, and the chest pressure there. Spontaneous sweating still belong to qi deficiency, but dry mouth with scanty fluids still means dry in there. Yeah, still means dry in there. That's caused by yin deficiency. And the dizziness is generally like a weaker kind of a dizziness. Dizziness is the illness state. They may cause by external reason, may cause by like excessive reason or deficiency reasons. Here is caused by deficiency reason. Qi deficiency can cause, the yin deficiency still can cause. And insomnia usually, in this case, caused by yin deficiency. And dry out, caused by yin deficiency. Right tongue with scanty tongue coating or no tongue coating still in deficiency size. Thin pulse, deficiency pulse, rapid pulse coming from yin deficiency heat in there, or sometimes missing heartbeat pulse. So that's the general symptoms. And the treatment principle, tonify qi, nourishing yin, and help the blood moving blood. So we still use 生脉散 plus 加减，就是 adding some herbs or remove some herbs. But generally, this formula, we need tonify qi and tonify blood. So 黄芪党参 qi tonify. 麦门冬 yin tonified. And then we still have other herbs. Yeah, we still have other herbs. We still have shanza. We're talking about that's pretty good herbs. Help digestions. But truly, they have modern research, but they have some functions, like especially working, like decrease lipase level in the blood circulation. 赤芍 moving blood. Wu mei, astringent herb, salty flavor. So patients have yin deficiency, they may have night sweating. So we can use wu mei there. Jie geng is the qi moving herbs, yeah, especially to upper jiao. Tian ma, basically it belongs to the liver, yeah, liver, especially the condition, like have some internal wind condition. So like a patient has some dizziness condition. So we adding here. Even dreaming they working for the internal wind condition also. And 珍珠, that in the same category. 太子参 still qi tonified. So that's basically we say marching or treatment principle there. Tonify qi, nourishing yin, and moving qi, moving blood, stop pain in the chest. And the modifications, liver yang, yeah. If more signs for liver yang hyperactivities, severe kind of dizziness, we adding 枸杞子 and 菊花。枸杞子 and 菊花 pretty good for the like a heart issue. So like even we talking about like people have orifice problems. So 枸杞子 is pretty nourishing herb, yeah. And 菊花 also good nourishing and like open the orifice, especially benefit the eyes. So people have heart disorder, no dizziness, we can add in 枸杞子 and 菊花. And if patient more palpitations and insomnia, that means more heart issue. So we can add in 夜交藤 and 酸枣仁. We talked about before. And more dry mouth, dry throat, thirsty, yeah. Indifferency with no deficiency heat inside. So we adding in nourishing herbs, 北沙参 and 竹茹. Severe pain, we need blood moving, 丹参 and 三七, that we talked about before already. Then acupuncture, yeah, acupuncture treatment. So still back through the heart, 西输, and 原 south points of the heart, heart 7, 神门. And also for indifference, we need to go to kidney to nourish it. I think some people thinking about kidney 7 more tonified kidney yang, but truly they both tonify yang and yin. Chinese name we call Fu Liu. Liu is like water. Fu means double. So truly kidney 7 can regulate the water, like people have sweating kind of condition. Whatever spontaneous sweating or night sweating, we can go to kidney 7. So that's regular water points. And certainly stomach 36 generally tonified, and we still keep a pericardium 6. I perform with Ren 17 together still. Open the chat. So still can modify the from there. Still can modify it from there. Most night sweating, adding heart 6, 6 points of the heart. So still in nourishing points. And the chest pain we talked about already in 17. Cold condition in the heart area, especially maxa. Yeah, we can maxa by through of the heart. We can maxa for other points like stomach 36. And severe heart pain, chest pain, heart foam, or maybe pericardium 3. Spleen qi deficiency go to yuan south of the spleen to tonify, that's three. And the liver yang rising kind of conditions, we go to gallbladder channel and the liver channels. And the liver blood deficiency and the liver yin deficiency, we go to backroom of the liver. So that's for these pattern manipulations. So clinically, we talk about sometimes people yang deficiency, sometimes people yin deficiency. Truly possible, they are both deficiency. So in this kind of case, patients still have heart palpitations, heart pain, and yang deficiency, yang including qi part, can cause patient short breath, generally weaker, tired, and the yin deficiency cause people problems more worse at night. And the face is depending. It's more yang deficiency, maybe pale or white face. If more yin deficiency, maybe let be red, flashing kind of face. But generally, patient maybe have cold, like easily to chilled, and sometimes warm. So because the combination with both yin yang deficiency there, like a 5 central heat, that's yin deficiency symptoms. And these diseases vertigo coming from deficiency. And other symptoms possible, like a lower back pain, no knee soreness. We know yin yang deficiency mainly relationship with kidney. That area is kidney area. And night urination, big amount urination, frequent urination. And the tongue still depending, is more yin deficiency or more yang deficiency. So the color may be changing. Pulse, deficiency pulse, impulse, impulse. Or maybe sometimes with like a missing heartbeat kind of pulse. So treatment principle, we need a warming yang and nourishing yin. So basically, our treatment principle will follow like our patterns. So that's we talking about the warming yang and nourishing yin. And certainly, we say yin yang originally coming from kidney. So we need to tonify the kidney and make blood moving smoothly. The formula 肾气丸 plus and 四物汤 plus 肾气丸 more kidney tonified. 四物汤 more blood tonified. So that's basically,肾气丸 we have kidney yin tonified, kidney yang tonified, and we also tonify the blood. So 致附子 is pretty warm herb. 桂枝 is pretty warm. So that's this. 山药、茯苓、泽泻、 生地 that's originally in the 肾气丸，对，肾气丸 sometimes 会靠金匮肾气丸。Mainly yin yang tonified， 对，金匮肾气丸。And 芍药、当归、川芎 that's in 四物汤。This one should be 山萸肉 or 山茱萸 the same。山茱萸、山萸肉 the same。That's still in the 肾气丸， yes, still in the 肾气丸。So that's basically they just adding 丹皮 there. Yeah. 丹皮 is 牡丹皮。It clears some heat in the blood. So that's the formula here. And we still can modify it from here. Yeah, modify it from here. Liver issue, we still can add in 钩藤 and 决明子。And severe yang deficiency, we still add in 蟹白 and 阴阳货 we talked about already, and 细辛。And severe kind of pain in there, we add in 丹参、五灵脂 that's blood moving, and 蒲黄 blood moving. And if more qi deficiency, we still add in 黄芪 and 人参. So that's manipulations for the formula. And for the acupoints, yeah, for the acupoints, we still use spectrum of the heart and heart 7. So basically pretty similar. Kidney 7 we still can use, and stomach 36 we still can use, pericardium 6 still can use. And the severe kind of deficiency, we can go to Ren 4. Ren 4 is pretty nourishing points. Yeah, pretty nourishing points. We can mark that there. We can needle there. And we also can mark that for stomach 36 and the back row of heart, bladder 15. So if patient condition, yang deficiency, some can cause some water retention, cold water inside. And this kind of water rushing up can cause the heart issue, blocking the upper jaw. So patient's symptoms, palpitation, and some kind of asthma attacking, short breath, chest pressures. It's hard to lay down. And cold inside aversion to cold and cold limbs. Sometimes people also have cold sweating. And we say cold inside basically belong to internal cold. Internal cold mainly relationship with yin yang deficiency. So patient may have some low back pain, soreness, and urination problems. Maybe frequent urination, maybe scanty kind of urination. And pale face, and can cause edema. This edema could be in the lower limbs, like legs, or maybe in the chest area. So the tongue, pale tongue and swollen with teeth mark on the side, that's water retention. And the pulse still in deeper and missing some heartbeat pulse. So this pattern, this pattern generally is a combination pattern, heart and kidney yang deficiency and water retention inside. So water rushing up to the chest and blocking the chest. So treatment principle, warming yang and distinguish the water. So the formula we use, 真武汤 plus. So 真武汤 is the formula especially used for yin yang deficiency and cause the water retention. Certainly we can add in some other herbs. We're talking about the water disorder, not only for the kidney, also may be caused by the spleen TNT not working. So basically, here, promote urination, relieve extra water, and 治附子 is warming herbs, warming kidney yang. 白术 qi tonified, and also tonify spleen functions. 干姜 warming inside. 白芍 tonify blood, moving blood. 甘草 qi tonified and harmonized formula. 肉桂 with 附子 together, even with 干姜 together, warming internally. So that's warming internally relieve extra water. And modify from there, Qi deficiency, we're talking about already, blood deficiency, we're talking about already, and moving blood, basically modified pretty similar, we're talking about modified. I think just生姜皮 we didn't talk about, and dangui pi. Pi is the peel, outer part or bark, outer part of the herbs. That have special functions, promote urination. We even have a formula's name we call 五皮饮. Wu is 5. 5 different kind of the pill and ingredients in there. So that formula especially relieve extra water, like water retention. And for the sweating condition, 山茱萸 is, we know that belong to astringent herbs and also have tonify function for the kidney. And the long gu, heavy herbs, heavy herbs, bring everything go downwards. And the fu xiao mai stop sweating. So put together, stop people's sweating kind of conditions. So acupuncture basically pretty similar here. Stomach 40 without phlegm, and also spleen 9. Do 4. Young tonified herbs, yeah, Ming Men, yeah, all of are coming from kidney. Kidney yang tonified points. You also can mark that there. Yeah, you also can mark that there. And then manipulation is here. So qi deficiency, we go to back of the spleen and the stomach, and the stomach. And the blood deficiency, we can go to spleen 6 and the bladder 17. And the asthma or short breath due to kidney couldn't absorb qi, we go to yuan south points of the kidney. For scanty urination, so that's basically is tonified points there, and mainly working for our yuan qi. So our yuan qi more close relationship with our kidneys. If sweating, we can combination R4 with kidney 7 together. If water is upper border. So still in 17, and back through of the lung, and the yuan south points of lung. So upper gel we have lung and the heart there, lung and heart. Now we're talking about pattern with the heart qi deficiency pattern. So like we're talking about a lot of pattern right now. So basically for the patterns is heart key symptoms of the heart plus qi deficiency symptoms. So palpitations is the heart symptoms, key symptoms of heart. And the chest pain, that's the illness. And then other symptoms relationship with qi deficiency, like general fatigue, short breath, and body weight. So that's general qi deficiency symptoms. And also can have spontaneous sweating, like a qi couldn't hold in the pulse. And the pulse is weaker pulse, and maybe causes some heart rate changing kind of pulse. So that's for heart qi deficiency. And the treatment, certainly we need to tonify heart qi and relieve pain, because this illness mainly causes chest pain. And the formula we use here is yang xin tang jia jie, still means plus, plus some herbs and remove some herbs. But mainly is heart qi tonified. So for here together, mainly for qi tonified, the herb for qi tonified. Gui zhi is warming the chest, warming chest herbs. And then other herbs we modified. Wei zi can calming heart shen and also astringent, stop sweating. Dang gui blood moving, cuan xiong blood moving. Yuan zhi calming shen, suan zao ren calming shen. So that's we put together. And we still have some modified here. Severe kind of qi deficiency. We can add in 白术 and instead use 党参 we can use 人参 little bit stronger compared with 党参 for qi tonified. And if like a blood deficiency, we can add in some more herbs for blood tonified. So basically, 白子仁 is nourishing heart, yeah, combination herbs. And 鸡血藤 nourishing the heart. And if people sweating, we need some astringent herbs. 浮小麦 stop sweating. And 卢骨母 we talked about before already. And if patient poor appetite, couldn't eating too much, and abdominal distension, we adding some qi moving herb for the middle jiao, 陈皮 and 砂仁. And kind of yang deficiency cause more painful situations. So we truly need some warming herb, 附子 and 蟹白. So that's modified from there. And acupuncture, basically, we still use pretty similar points. Yeah, pretty similar points. And the modifications, the points, still pretty similar here. Yeah. So middle jiao abdominal distension, we can go to spring 4 and with 人跳, yeah, 人跳, pretty good points, regular middle jiao. Hard yang deficiency with cold, severe cut pain, truly we can use maxa. So that's for the treatment for this pattern. Then we go to the pattern heart indifference. Heart indifference, we still have heart symptoms like palpitations, chest pain. And we have indifference symptoms. We say 5 center heat, night sweating, and maybe heat sensation, restless, and insomnia. And we know the tongue will be dry and without coating. The pulse is thin and rapid. So that's for this pattern. And sometimes this pattern may be combination with other symptoms. So that's we're talking about basically indifference caused yang hyperactivity. So that's usually we're talking about liver yang rising, the root deficiency, bunch abscesses. And the treatment principle, we need nourishing heart in and stop pain. So heart in nourishing formula, 天王补心丹 plus. So we're talking about the formula before. In CTCMA, they have big list there. So at the least, yeah, you need to remember like some common used formula in there and what ingredients inside. Yeah, we don't have time truly in our class review all the formula, but you can double check if our notes the formula in CTCM list there, you should be remember what's the originally ingredients in it. And then you know what herbs is modified in it. But generally speaking, we're talking about 天王补心丹 is typically formula for heart in nursing, and especially people with heart insufficiency, difficult to sleep. So that's typically formula we can use. I'm sure this is in our CTCM list. It's pretty commonly used. So we have in nursing herbs here. We have qi tonified herbs here. Yeah, 天门冬、麦门冬 especially for in nursing. And we have calming shen herbs. Yeah, 远志. And then plus some other herbs for qi tonified. 酸枣仁 still calming shen help people sleep. And 白子仁. So that's basically for this formula, and still can modify it from there. Severe heart palpitations, 磁石龙骨牡蛎, all the heavy herbs. Bring the heat go down. Yeah, bring the heat go down. And severe indifferency, we adding more herbs nursing in. Nursing blood belong to yin. And if patient dizziness and tinnitus and high blood pressure, so for TCM that belong to internal wind condition. We need to distinguish the wind, so that's we adding 石决明、钩藤 and 云菊花。For low back pain, that's the kidney deficiency. And basically, this kind of patient, we're talking about the chest pain, 胸痹 condition, coronary artery disorder. Most people will have high blood pressure. So we can add in 桑寄生 kidney tonified. 牛膝 bring all the blood and the heat go down. And 杜仲 kidney tonified. For people pretty easily angry, severe restless, that's liver heat symptom, even red face, and don't like heat. So we can add in 夏枯草, especially clear heat from the liver, 栀子 clear heat from cereal, and 丹皮 same 牡丹皮 clear heat from the blood. For acupuncture treatment, yeah, basically look like the points we talked about, all points we talked about before already. And the manipulation from there, let's see, we have some special points in here. Yeah, dizziness, tinnitus, high blood pressure, that's the liver issue in TCM. Some heat in the liver. So liver 2, pretty good for clear heat. And also gallbladder 20, the internal wind, external wind, it can use. And the lower back pain, we need nourishing kidney. So yuan south points of kidney, kidney 3, and the back row of the kidney, bladder 23. Easily angry, still liver issue, still clear heat from the liver and the gallbladder. Night sweating, yeah, night sweating, heat sensations, 214, yeah, 214 still can clear internal heat and external heat. Heart 6, we say that's EC, we call EC. C-class points can clear heat from the heart. And the phlegm heat, yeah, phlegm heat. Stomach 44, especially for the phlegm. Stomach 40 for phlegm, 44 for clear heat. And 人跳 regular middle, still regular middle. So that's basically for manipulations for points here. So summarized, yes, summarized. So coronary heart illness is kind of yin and yang unbalanced condition, but mainly is more yang deficiency and more cold blocking inside. So mostly, we need to find the worst reasons, and most part we need warm and moving qi, moving blood. So that's bring the condition coming back to the yin-yang balance. So if we try to warm it, for the herbs, we use fuzi. Yeah, for the herbs, we use fuzi. For the acupuncture, we use moxibustion. So most case is yang deficiency and with other conditions. So that's basically clinically we can see. We need thinking. For West medicine, basically we have two conditions. One condition we call agenda attacking. Agenda attacking is temporarily chest pain, few minutes, then relieves, but they possible recurrent. So in that condition, we still need to look into checking and looking for the treatment. Otherwise, maybe development like coronary artery totally blocked. That's we call heart attacking. Heart attacking is severe kind of disorder, severe kind of chest pain, and continually chest pain. So that's emergency kind of condition. Patient must be go to emergency kind of treatment. So all the pattern here we're talking about, maybe we're working for agenda condition, or maybe with Western medicine treatment together. So if patient have severe kind of chest pain and continually in there couldn't relieve, still go to emergency treatment first. Don't try herbs or acupuncture first. But truly we can use the same time. But we need to separate with different kind of condition. So that is complicated situations and severe kind of situations for coronary artery disorder. So that's we finish this illness.